Hello. Let's help I carry on with the international cookery techniques. Last time I started previously from first 6 techniques, which I repeat now to refresh memories. Blanching, we said. Blanching is the most popular one. Blanching, you just on the boiling water or stock, courbillon, you blanch al dente. You cook al dente the vegetables to keep the consistency plus colorfulness. For example, broccoli, you bring water, little salt or courbillon. You add small, same size, unique size, same size broccoli heads. You blanch for a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, or how you want, al dente. Usually I prefer my vegetables as well al dente, not smash ones. You are not making puree, you know. So blanching we call it. The technique is, as soon as you reach the consistency you want, then you refresh in the cold water to keep them firm. If not, it gets soggy because you will use it probably or salads or side dishes or condiment or vegetables next to main course. Steak, for example, grilled steak. So you don't want wishy-washy. You will keep it under the salamander, maybe in the hot water in the oven. Okay. You add the salt in it. Salt to make the color, make it brighter, and at the same time take the color as well. Chlorophyll. Okay. You can blanch petit pois, peas, or araca, small peas. And the first small peas with like beans, green beans. They didn't grow too much, but you eat it whole, like a whole beans, green beans as well. And what else? Asparagus as well, or other small vegetables. Okay, we don't go over the 130 Celsius. Over there, it kills the vegetables. Don't worry. Don't forget. Poaching is for big piece of chicken or small breast of chicken or small vegetables. Fish fillet. It must be courbillon, not ordinary water. To poach in a courbillon means aromatic vegetable stock. Again, between 80-100 Celsius. Not too boiling. You must cook gently. For example, if you put breast of chicken, it shouldn't get too hard, okay? Fish fillet as well. If you forget the fish fillet in a poaching dish, it gets smaller. You lose quantity. Courbillon, what we said, repeated, is aromatic vegetable stock. It's mirepoix vegetables plus bay leaves and thyme sometimes. Okay. Bouquet garni, sometimes you can add it if you want strong one flavor. Smearing, we said smearing. Smearing means in Turkish tıngırdatmak. 95-98 degree. You smear anything, meat dishes, fragile pieces of meat. It can be fish, it can be crayfish, shrimps, and also offal. Sakatat in Turkish. Like a brain, like a tongue, sweet bread, uykuluk. You see, they need simmering, titremek. So you bring it to the boiling point, then put it 90 Celsius, then aromatic, courbillon. Then you add and you watch. Every time there's impurities come to the surfaces of the water, you skim it, okay? You skim it. We said either water or stock. Then boiling. Boiling means it boiled. Boiling is 100 Celsius, don't forget. 100 degrees is boiled. Boiled in the normal water, like a potatoes. But the potatoes, you put the potatoes in cold water and bring it to boil, okay? Some newcomers to the kitchen, they put hot water, so it becomes too soft, ishiwashi. Mashed potatoes. For the potatoes, it's like that, and don't cover on top. All the rest of the stock preparing, like a blanching, poaching, smearing, you cover the top. CCP, critical control point. Don't put sleeves on, sieve on. What you call it, kapak in Turkish. Don't cover it. Boiling, as I say, we boiled from the cold potatoes, but when it comes to pasta dishes, you don't start with the cold water. You start with the boiling water. Okay, all the hard, earthy vegetables you boiled. Turnips you boiled. Carrots you want boiled. Celeriac you boiled. Of course, macaroni you boiled. And when you come to the steaming, we said as well, steaming is for lighter dishes to reach and neutral taste dishes. But in hospitals, they make always steamed vegetables and food to the patient they give. And in China, overseas, always steaming is number one preparation technique. They have a basket made from the bamboo, and they put the bamboo basket on top of the boiling water and keep the steaming, and they cook and pass the dishes. Like we have a mante, they get a bigger mantes, like a ravioli, bigger than ravioli. They put all the ingredients, always fish dishes and vegetables and oriental aromatics inside. So they cook it portion per portion and serve it with the soy sauce. In French, we call it à la vapeur, steaming. We have at home a pressure cooker. It's the steaming as well. We call it wet steaming because you add the water and some ingredient and plus what you're going to cook. And some big kitchen, there's a giant steamer cooker as well. And it's high-speed dry steamer we have as well. I mentioned as well last time. For example, if you want to cook 5 kilo, 10 kilo vegetables, diced carrot, petit pois, peas, or beans, or potatoes, skinned potatoes, small, 1 kilo, 10 kilo, as I said, and it's like a tunnel. You arrange a steamer according to the vegetable, and you start to push the button. Instead to cook 1 hour, they cook in 10 minutes, maybe a little longer, depending on the quantity of the vegetables you are cooking. We had one concept came to Turkey, Istanbul, Oriental. I don't know, I forgot the name. They were using this machine, they imported. They put in perforated the trays, boom. Evet, the temperature so high, it goes to up to 200 Celsius. Vegetables, rice, steam pressure, a pot. But you can do it in a small quantity as well. You can put it at home. For example, lobster. And the best way they cook the lobster, they say, you put on a boiling water, you put the grill. So on top of the grill, you put the live lobster, and with the steam comes from the water, the vapor comes. The lobster or crayfish, what it does, it sleeps. It goes to sleep. And after the 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, if it is bigger, depending how big the size, the lobster is passed away. Sleep forever. Okay. This is another way as well to use steam. But of course, it is if you have a time, you know. But like a shellfish, lobsters, and crayfish, and shrimps, and the bigger than shrimps, I forgot the name. And if you cook too hard and quickly, their tender meat gets tougher. So better cook always lightly. Okay, steam it nicely. It comes like in Turkish we call it like a lokum, small paste, and it's not hard. Then you can add any sauce on top of it or dip anything dip. It is lovely with salad, hot, cold, grill. Deep fat frying. Then deep fat frying, of course, we always repeat this because deep fat. The biggest challenge is this deep fat frying. You need oil, the best oil. We don't do it. We don't cook. We don't use olive oil. Always strong oil for the heat. And heat always standard. It doesn't go up and down. So it goes up to over 100 degree, up to 180, and depending which products you are going to fry. If it is French fry, you have to check the potatoes. What kind of potatoes is this? Some potatoes suitable for boiling, for mashed potatoes, or some of them ready good for frying. And to fry, we blanch. The blanch method for frying, we do in 2 steps. The first steps, you cut vegetables, you fry in the normal 100 Celsius for short time, and you keep it. Is the first step. And then when the customer comes and asks for a fryer, because most people serve French fries like a restaurant, nothing else. So the blanched potatoes you dip in a hot fryer and cook it golden. We call it fried potatoes. Because they started first in France, they call French fries everywhere in the world. We like also potatoes, but in Turkey, potatoes, it doesn't need to be hot. If you don't give them hot, they don't mind. But in France, if it is not hot and if not crunchy, kıtır kıtır, return. Okay. Again, working temperature says 190, and oil must be changed all the time. When it gets darker, oil you must change. I mean dark. You shouldn't get darker. I mean, you cook some of them, not the potatoes. You cook fish as well, pane fish, pane donut. Okay, fritters we call it. At home also we have a fritters, but you can cover it. I don't want to give the name of the maker. You cover it and get all the smell. It is there's a sponge inside, absorbent. We get the shallow fry. You know shallow fry. Then shallow fry is easy on the pan. Grilling, you know, it's on the grilling. Granating is not very popular in Turkey, but in Europe it is popular. You on your meat, cooked meat, you put some cheese, for example, hamburger cheese, and put under the grill. And what you get with the cheese is gratinate. Creme brulee, you put on the grill, gratinate. Or with the torch, you can make it, of course. Baking in the oven, roasting. We have a baking in the oven plus roasting plus braising. These three dishes in convection oven they do it, but we have a conduction and convection, two type of heating system, cooking, heat transfer. Again, the baking, you always bake like bread or beef Wellington meat surrounded with pastry is baking, or chicken on top of some milföy. Yufka is baking as well. Then roasting mostly you cook, what you cook, turkey you cook, chicken you cook. Broiling is similar, but it's turning. But in the roasting, you can cook a joint of meat. In England is very famous. America is very famous for that. They roast big joint of meat. Entrecote, contre-filet, for 10 people. They cook it and carve it in front of the customer. High heat, always looking after the joint of meat, because if you leave it as it is, it cook only one side. So you have to open it, take the meat out, or joint. When I say joint, it's a big piece of meat, and turn and what we call it, to make a wet other side, dry side, with the what's left on the pan, dew of the joint. You wet it on top of it, okay? But they do in the roasting pan also the bread pan, we call it, for the big pieces of meat, like at this table, tava. In Turkish they call it the devrilen tava. You roast there as well. And braising the meat, cook first, then put with the stock in the oven. It's a hard meat as well. I don't recommend you to cook your soft meat like chicken breast or bone filet, tender meat. Don't. Contrefilé is ideal. Or rump steak. You seal it first. When I say seal it, mühürlemek, both sides. With you seal it first. So you put it in a flour, seasoned flour. Then both sides on the pan. Then put this in a big trays. Then put stock on top of it. Cover it. Put it in the oven. This is 180 to 100. So we did have glazing is a pan fry. Pot roasting is don't use it very much. I explained last time. Stewing. Pot roasting. What is post roasting? No, this is the new one. Yeah, sorry. Glazing is a white meat, veal, for example, and poultry. You put it on the pan. For example, schnitzel. You have a tender piece of veal, and you fillet it out. Then the pane. Then you put your oil and little butter. Okay, when it heats it a little bit, then you put your pane meat, and what you have, golden, both sides, because veal cook very easily. So some people cook the schnitzel, they make it from the pork as well. In Europe, they use pork a lot. Pork chops, you can cook it like that. And my pepper steak, I can cook it on there as well. Quick vegetables, we can cook it this way as well. Saute, meat glaze. Glacé, we call it, glacé. For example, pearl onion. Arpacık soğanı. So if you want to prepare your like the garniture, you add again butter, oil, and add it in the little hot pan and start sauteing. We are not cooking it, we're just glazing it. And last minute or in the middle, you add, some chefs add sugar. Sugar makes a little caramelize, you know, and give brightness. I usually put a little bit lemon juice as well, and you serve it. If you are not serving as a garniture, you can wait on the side, but you mustn't get soggy. Carrots as well can be. Glacé carrot, glacé onion, and you find one green vegetables with it. Running beans, and they shine on the plate. Okay, they are not dyed. Wilted. We don't want wilted. Pot roasting. Pot roasting, you go slowly. You seal your meat, then you put in a pot with the vegetables, raw vegetables in it, and little stock, cover it, and cook slowly. What is it? 140 Celsius. 140, 150 Celsius. You can, it's always done with the joint. For example, you prepare meat for five people, or chicken or turkey, duck. pot roasting, duck. Of course, you can cook in the oven, very hot oven as well. If it's a la carte, and you can have to cook, not cook in advance, but this pot roasting, you can cook in advance and keep it. And succulent, all the vegetables goes out, on the meat, juice goes out, and bouquet garni. And the last minute, you add a little bit extra stock in it. So when you serve, garniture plus sauce. Yes, stewing. Start sealing and cook slowly. 100, 110, 140. It's 110, 140 is vegetables, or a large number of vegetables as well. It best. Mushrooms cooks like that. Mushroom stew is very, very, very nice. And very tasty. Of course, morel, you must find morel. Typical cooking. Again, we use brat pan, devreden tava. We use, and hot air convection is a new oven. Stand-up ovens. I always go down because I used to cook in the old type oven, but when the new comes convection oven, you arrange it and the hot air circulate around the meat. You can cook a big fish. Sometimes, of course, probably everybody knows that. I have so many my ex-students around the world. They made one of the chef. He made one fish snapper. Snapper is that they use very much American. There's a large snapper, and it's a hard meat. He covered with the pastry, like a big Wellington, but it give a shape of a fish and cook in the oven. Use this method. If you want to cook with the pastry, we always put egg wash. Egg wash is egg with little water, and sometimes they put milk, and take the brush and brush it around, but just the pastry. So if you put it back in the oven, it gets nice and colored, not dark. If you put too much egg, it gets darker. So, cooking turkey. I'll give you one tip. I did in Sensei as well. When I used to cook around the New Year, I told them how to cook with big turkey. I put the stuffing in it, then a little oil. Hello, Haldun Bey. And you brush a little oil and put it in the oven. But what we do first, like a chicken as well, you seal it in the pan first. Little heat comes around the turkey or whole turkey, whole chicken. Then put it in the oven. And the first half an hour, don't put any vegetables yet. Yes. You cut the vegetables in portion, small amount, keep it. Mirepoix vegetables, you know what are they. Then you take the turkey out. I spray it with orange juice. Spray it and put it in the oven with the vegetables. and now and again you take it out and arroze. Some people, they don't know. In the middle of cooking, for example, if it takes 1 hour to cook a big 5 pound, 3 kilo, 2 kilo, 2.5 kilo turkey, take it out, and all the dipping juice, you take it and arroze. Wash it, the turkey or chicken, all chicken, or duck. Duck cooks very quickly because hardly any meat on it. But turkey is a big piece of legs and breast. And also one more tip. The breast cooks very, very easily. So you cover with the fat towards the end. So the legs cooks and the breast cooks. If it cooks so quickly, it gets harder. But arroze, don't forget, you must do arrozing sometimes after 1 hour, 1.5, when the breast is nice and brown or golden, you turn over the turkey. And you do it with the duck and big chicken. They call it kapon, horoz. Big duck as well. Of course, we don't cook ducks in the restaurant, you don't see it. Turkey, you see it, and only the pane. But big parties, they like to see the joint carved in front of them. 10 people, 2 turkey, in front they carve it. Of course, you must know how to carve it. You start with the legs, and you give each portion 1 leg, 1 turkey. Then cranberry sauce or kızılcık sauce, and gravy and vegetables. One give the meat carved and the vegetables. The waiters start serving the vegetables on the table like that, and then all the garniture on the table. Yes, we're coming to the end, and smoking, we explain, is very popular in Turkey yet. They don't know what is it, but Turkey, smoking is the pastırma, is a smoking version of it, make salt. And also, I mention again, in Scotland they make smoking of lamb, like a pastırma they make it. I hope somebody start in Turkey as well, smoking lamb. We like lamb, there's plenty. So, I mentioned already new way of cooking, smoking. Powder of from wood, but smell nice wood, and little fire. You put in a small container, and you can smoke your fish, your chicken, your shrimps, your crayfish, your vegetables. Okay. Go back to my previous videos, you can see there. Delicious, unbelievable. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Next time we will continue like that, and then I'm going to go stocks, and I will give you the quantities as well. You can make it at home as well. Okay. Not only big batch, small batch at home. What do you go? How much you put it this? Because it's important. Once I give you the right quantities, then you can make it smaller or larger quantities. Okay. Be careful. It's cold outside. Take care. Bye bye.